you'll notice that C7 and T1, they're not quite in line, really. Yeah, so C7, and then you're almost looking like T1 just drifts off to the right a little bit, yeah? And then T2 almost like comes across a bit more. Yeah, but it's actually more so. So you know, you think, well, is those two in line and this one off? Because when you're looking at C6, yeah, and T2, they look like they're in roughly. This one's slightly to the right, and this one's almost like to the left. Yeah, but actually, when you say left and right, it's not actually left and right, because if I look at this C7, for instance, and I brought my thumbs to that plane, yeah. So that vertebra is going that way to the left, but the actual vertebra is rotated to the right. Yeah. So that would be a right rotated C7. If you're looking at C7, if I put my thumbs on SP and come about 2.5 centimeters, my right thumb is shallow compared to my left thumb goes deep. So it means that C7 is rotated right on T1. Okay. What it means in flexion, because what you're trying to do in flexion, the C7 should glide on T1. Yeah, so the TP on the left here and the TP on the right should be level if it opens. So if there's a bit of, and I did say that, you know, the movement looks okay, etc., but when I palpate it, it does look like that C7 is a little bit rotated, because if C7 right facet is fixed closed, it means it doesn't want to open, but the left side is opening. So when you're bending forward now, so if I show you this, so if this is C7, yeah, so this side, let's say, is fixed closed, so when you're bending forward, this side can't open, but this side can, so this side becomes a pivoted side, so as you bend it, it does that. Yeah, so this side can't open. So you have a higher side in flexion. So if you bend and you feel down the spine and you think, oh, there's a high side, then that side is the fixed, closed side. Because that's how I could treat it. Yeah, if you read the spinal manipulation, they might say head forward. Yeah, so I'm encouraging opening, and I could apply some pressure on that right facet, yeah, in that area. And that could be mobilizing, because think about if it's stuck closed, I'm trying to push it back to the left. Yeah, that sort of thing. If you think about an MET, yeah, from that. So if I'm saying to you that so a fixed facet is always type 2. So that means it is, in this case, if I say it's closed, it means it's extended and it is rotated and side bent to the right. So it's an ERS on the right. So it's fixed. You don't have to learn the ERS and FRS, but the ER is fixed closed on the right. So if I want to, so he is basically in a extended, rotated, side bent position on that C7 facet. So he is happy in that plane of motion, but he might not want to flex, rotate, side bend to the left, because the right joint is fixed closed. So if I want to encourage a rotation back to neutral on this right side, then if I go and feel the bind, I don't want to go past the bind. When I feel tension, I stop. So that's C7. So now if I get my patient just to pull his head back a little bit for 10 seconds and relax. So this is the one we want to open on his right side. So now if I encourage rotation and side bending that way, I'm trying to utilize and open that facet joint in here. You okay with that? Yeah, so I'm trying to get him open on that right hand side. So that'd be an MET to open a fixed facet. Let's say there's one further down. Head forward. There. Okay. So T2, T3 and T4. It's definitely fixed close, that one. Yeah. T3. Oh, this one's on the left. Okay, so this time T3 is fixed closed on the left, whereas this side is deeper and that side's shallow. So that side is fixed closed now. So because there's a higher side in flexion, so there's a high side. So if I palpate the level just above, so I'm going to flex him down to there. So So I flex him down to the level, not past. So if he's fixed close that side, yeah, so I'm going to get him to extend, yeah, to encourage closing again. 10 seconds, relax, breathe. And as he breathes out, I'm going to flex him down to that level. And if I put my finger on the one, that's moving, and that's one's fixed and that's moving. So then from there, I'm going to rotate him and side bend him that way to encourage rotation to the right, because he's fixed in rotation to the left. I can use my healer hand to encourage that movement, yeah, if I wanted to. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, to encourage opening on that side. And that would be an MET for fixed facets. The map. Okay, it's different in extension, because if he extends and he has a high side, then if it's a high side on the right, okay, yeah, then actually it's fixed open. Even though it's flexed on the right, it's actually fixed open on the left. It's on the opposite side. So if you flex forward and you have a high side, it's fixed closed on that side. And if you extend back and you have a high side, it's fixed open for on the opposite side.
Say that again. If you're looking at it from this side?
No, from this side. Yeah. If you've got, so it's almost quite simple in some ways, because people complicate the subject.
Mm-hmm.
Because you normally test in three planes. You test in neutral, and you look for position. You test in flexion, you look for position. You test in extension, and you look for position. But simply speaking, yeah, if you bend forward, and you're asking the facets to open, if they don't open, you'll have a higher side. And the higher side is the fixed closed side, because it becomes the pivoted side.
Yep.
So, in simple, if you just, you don't have to do three planes. If you flex and you've got a high side, like I've shown you, then that side is fixed closed. If you want to go through the whole process, then you might say, I'd want you to extend, yeah? And now if you've got a high side, so there's a high side on the left. So the facet is fixed open on the left, okay, so it's FRS on the left, but the actual facet is stuck open on the right. So the high side, in extension, the facet is fixed open on the opposite side. Glad you're nodding your head. Okay, but don't worry about it, because normally you find facets are fixed closed in this case. So let's just recap again. Yeah, so by bringing the head forward, bring your thumbs across. If you find a higher side, yeah, so SP an inch across, SP inch across, SP inch across, and just look for a high side. If you've got a high side, you've got a fixed facet closed. So think about the level. Let's say we want to work a bit lower. Just lock your fingers behind your neck. Right, so let's say T8. Okay, so I'm going to flex him down. Let's say it's on the left side. So I'm going to flex him down to that level, yeah? So slowly pull your arms back, so he's extending to that level, on there. 10 seconds, let's say, breathe. And as he breathes out, I'm going to flex him down, yeah? So then I'm going to encourage rotation and side bending down to that level. And I'm going to use my healer hand, 4 fingers, yeah? Because I've got pretty strong fingers, just to encourage that rotation, yeah? Down to that level. It just makes it more specific to what you're trying to achieve. And if you can't correct it by doing what I'm showing you, is what we're going to be doing next, as in the manipulation. Okay, because think about how it might have been fixed closed. If it's fixed closed through trauma, like falling off a horse or whiplash or in a scuffle or you fall down some stairs, that sort of thing, then more likely you need an equal force. If you fall off a horse and your pelvis has gone up, you can massage that QL for 10 years and you won't get it down. Yeah, you need an equal force to pull it down. One of my friends looked after a bobsleigh team. If you're in a bobsleigh going at 90 miles an hour and you hit the corner at speed and the pelvis gets shunted, yeah, then you need an equal shunt. It sounds a bit crude, but it's how you've got to think, to shunt it back that way, yeah, to bring it back into position. Yeah, if you work up a mechanic, you think, okay, why would that be? If it's only, if you're coughing like you've done a rib, then you might find that it's not really forced trauma, as such, what coughing can be. Then you might find an MET would work very well. Okay, so just bear that in mind. If you've had a major fall, and if you've fallen off something quite high and you've tumbled and your pelvis has shifted all over, you probably need force to get it back. Massage, the best massage in the world won't help. Well, it'll help, but it won't correct it. Yeah, you almost need a force to bring it back to the position it was in before you had the trauma. Okay, so just have a little go, then we'll move on to using the towels next.